Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. I want to take you on a tour of my new Brickitect studio. Check it out. Right here in our very own dining room, we've got all of my Lego sets nicely stacked up all throughout here. I kind of made the decision that I no longer wanted to have this really awesome space downstairs where I could have all my stuff on display really nicely and have this just amazing workspace to not only film videos but to edit and also to build. I wanted everything up here. I just think this works a lot better. Also have this over here. Isn't this just great? All right, let's get to the real deal here. You're wondering why everything's here. Well, we had a bit of a problem downstairs. Let's go down there and I'll give you a tour of the very much flooded Brickitect studio. That's right, my friends. Yesterday, there was about 3 or 4 hours of just super solid, steady rain that followed many, many days of rain here in Pennsylvania. And unfortunately, downstairs area of our house really could not keep up with that. And water started rushing in. I'm gonna show you the whole thing down here. Be prepared because it's a little crazy down here. We actually had some work done. You might have trouble hearing me down here. Let me turn the light on. Oh my goodness. Look at this place. This was the Brickitect studio over here, guys. I'm gonna take you on a tour and show you what's happening here. I'm tripping over things. You might recognize this little area right here. You might recognize this, but you probably don't recognize all of this because it's emptied out. And I need more lights on down here. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, the breaker went out again. Hold on. Out in the garage here and fix this breaker that keeps breaking. If that's what breakers do. Since we're out in the garage, I'm gonna open up the garage door a little bit here and talk to you about, I'm late. Let's close this so I can actually talk to you a little bit out here in front of the rest of the Brickitect studio. That wasn't all of it. We've got a lot more down here as well, as you can see. Let me tell you what happened. It started here. The water yesterday, it was raining like crazy, like I mentioned. The water started pulling up right here. As you can see, it kind of comes down here. The water's pulling up and eventually the water decides that it's gonna come in our garage here, which is not a problem because the garage, there's not much out here. At least there wasn't much out here. That could be a problem. And as the water pulled in here, eventually it started going in to the actual Brickitect studio. I just realized I gotta have Clarkman tell a story because he's told it to us like several times now and it's really good. So if he tells it to me, I'll put it in here. Clarky just came in from on the trampoline. I was hoping you could tell the story of how you found out there was water in the basement. Whoa.
That was, I was playing with Spoiler, and I was racing the blue car, and I turned my head like this, I went, it's not water, and I walked back upstairs to tell Mom and Dad that.
And what did Mom and Dad do?
Come downstairs, and something just happened, a full waterfall just came in from the garage.
What was that like?
It was like a water tornado, I think. A tornado.
It was a water tornado. It felt that way. How do you feel about not having the Brickitect studio anymore?
I really want to keep it.
Me too. What do you think about having all this stuff up here to play with?
Great. So we moved all the Daddy sets, and he didn't want his stuff to get all damp. His Lego sets, he wants them to stay nice. So I was trying to build some sets.
Yeah, you can build whatever you want out of there, buddy. We've got a lot to choose from. We're still going to do mail time up here?
Yeah, are we going to do mail time now?
We're going to do mail time tomorrow, I think. Maybe Saturday. I don't know. We're going to figure it out. I have something cool to share tomorrow, but I think it's out in the shed because it didn't quite make it in here and we ran out of space, as you can tell. So thank you for telling the story about how you were the one to save the day down there. I'm upstairs after filming yesterday's video, which was the ultimate popcorn cart. Everything was good. It was raining outside, but I didn't think much of it. Clarkman's downstairs playing with his Thomas trains and everything I think is good. We're upstairs and he comes up and says there's a puddle inside and I'm like, what? I was just gonna like brush it off and just be like, okay, there's a puddle inside. Cody comes downstairs, opens up this door back here and water just goes whoosh. I come out here to check it. Things are floating on the ground out here. I had flip-flops that were up there. They're floating around. We had inches of water in here. After I proceeded to have a mental breakdown, Cody and I immediately got to work moving stuff out here because I was able to dry this out with the shop vac, which is under there. And everything seemed to be okay, but the inside carpeting in there was absolutely soaked, just terribly soaked. and I knew that I had to call a place, so I called a place called Serve Pro, which they handle like fire and water and stuff like that. And they came in today, and that's what you saw inside there. They have fans running everywhere, and I'm gonna take you in to tell you the rest of the story, but why don't we just get a little bit of a glance around here so you can see just how much stuff came out of there. You see Lego sets everywhere. My big Lego sets, oh my goodness, I have to talk about this. Some of those were on the floor over by the couch where I had my box wall, and some of the sets on the floor got wet, and I am very, very disappointed in that. The worst one of the bunch was Ninjago City. Oh my God, guys, the boxes. I know I love to save them. It's like super important to me because I feel like as a collector I need to save them, but man, it becomes a liability, especially when something like this happens. But here's this out here. Let's go back in and I'm gonna show you what they did. This is actually pretty terrible in here. They had to lift the carpeting up, which is okay, but the bad part is they had to cut all around here. So you see down here, they cut all the drywall off over here, and they had to cut that out. And the reason they had to do that is because the moisture gets up inside there. Even though it's kind of just on the floor, the moisture goes up into the walls, and that becomes a big problem with mold and stuff like that. So you have to get that all out of there. So now not only do I have to wait for 3 days of all these fans running in here to dry this off, I also have to then go back through and put new molding up, and I have to get new drywall for here. So the Brickitect studio is just straight up out of commission for a long time. As you can see, the one thing that I didn't move was the roller coaster over here. I kept the poster on the wall. We've got a couple of things there. I kept these guys up, and inside here, the backlog is still intact, and everything seems to be okay. Everything's drying out. It's kind of humid down here, of course. Still have this stuff up here as well. I know there's no lighting over here, so you can't see it very much, but all my stuff's up there. We've got fans everywhere. These are all blowing this up so you get air under the carpet. Check that out. But yeah, that's all been cut off. That's been cut off. It's terrible down here, guys. This is a nightmare. The good news is the carpeting can be saved. This is very expensive carpeting, and I really wanted to make sure it stayed in here. So that is okay. I just have to have somebody, when this is all dry, come back and re-stretch it out. So it could be worse, and that's what I've been trying to tell myself. Let's get out of here so you guys can actually hear me. I've been trying to tell myself this could be worse. We got more Lego sets right here too. And we got a TV there. This could be worse. It could have been a fire. I could have lost everything. Luckily, it was just some water down there. And it wasn't like a ton of water, but it was enough to pretty much derail everything that I've been doing, including all of this back where we started at. It makes me so sad because I had everything set up the way I wanted it. I had the shelves set up. It was so good, and now I have this in the dining room. But this isn't going to stop me. I'm gonna keep making videos for you guys. In fact, I'm gonna try not to show people's addresses here on this one, but we've got our mail here. I saved that from the flood, and I'll still be able to do a mail time for you guys. And I figure we can still build and do the stuff that we do. It's just gonna have to be at the table, which we're no stranger to. We've built here before. We just need like 3 days for that to dry out. We need to get the carpet stretched. We need to get the new moldings put up. We need to get the drywall put in, maybe a little bit of painting. So I'm gonna say maybe 2 weeks we'll be back in there and I'll be able to get this back. But I do have to hand it to Mrs. Brickitect. If you guys want to appreciate anybody in this world, Mrs. Brickitect is such a trooper. She made no fuss about all this stuff coming up here. She helped me. She went from the landing all the way up here over and over and over again, grabbing these boxes and putting them up here and stacking them nicely for me. Never once complained. The only thing that she said, and I kind of agree with her, is that I have too much stuff. She might have called me a hoarder. And I mean, if you looked at this, would you agree with her? I probably would. But this is my collection. This is what I do. I love this stuff. I can't see myself getting rid of any of this. But man, it really comes like to light how much stuff you have when you need to move it all. In like a 2-hour time frame, you got to get all this stuff out of here. You realize just how bad it is. These were the sets that took the worst of it. We've got the old fishing store here, as you see on the front. This one got a little bit of water damage there, which I might be able to just kind of put that back. The Porsche got a little bit of water damage. This one I think is mostly okay. That's a Saturn V. Voltron is a little warped, but okay. The bad one here, Ninjago City. Here's the front of it. Here's the bottom. I don't think there's any save in this one, guys. It's bad. I did go online though, and I saw that you can get a Ninjago City box for $5 on Bricklink. So I think I'm gonna do that just so I can have the box. I mean, it's important to me. Some of you guys are like, dude, just throw all that stuff away. But yeah, it's my collection. I have to. If I told you I wasn't bummed about this, it would be a lie, but I'm trying to keep the most positive attitude that I can in this circumstance by thinking that it could be worse. And I know in like 2 weeks' time, everything will be back where it was, and this will be like it never happened. In fact, it might even be better down there because I plan to get new molding and make it like the way that I want it versus what was already in there. So that's where we're at. I just wanted to give you guys an update, let you know that I'm still going to try to keep doing what we do here. Nothing's going to stop me from making Lego videos. Even if I have to do it from the dining room, I can just reach a set and start building it, which is what Clarkman's been doing. He's been having fun just grabbing small stuff off here. So we're making the best of it, and I hope you guys are too. If you have a setback in life, just think like I'm thinking. It could be worse. If there was a fire and I lost all this, it'd be way worse than getting a little bit of water, losing an Ninjago City box, and being inconvenienced for 2 weeks. It could always be worse. I want to thank you guys so much for sitting through whatever this was. I guess the new Brickitect studio tour. If you guys want to watch any other videos, feel free to do that now as I weep small little tears out of the corners of my eyes. I'll give you a little gander here at this once again. Oh, you know what? We should wrap this up down in the basement where you guys can see the air coming through. I know we only have like 20 seconds, so we got to get down there so you can see it. And did we make it? Did we make it? Oh, man.